Congratulations. The October labor lottery is complete. Your name was pulled. For immediate placement, report to the Ministry of Admission at Grestin Border Checkpoint. An apartment will be provided for you and your family in East Grestin. Expect a Class A dwelling. Glory to Arstotzka. Papers, Please is a border inspection game set in a post-war country named Arstotzka. You play an unnamed man running the border checkpoint that separates Arstotzka from a neighboring country, Kolechia. Throughout the game, you are tasked with checking passports and seeing who is and who isn't eligible to enter the country. At the end of each day, you must spend your earnings on things like food, heating, medicine for your family should they get sick, and upgrades to your housing situation and inspection booth.
The observable elements work together to create a rather somber feeling, and they try as much as they can to truly replicate that feeling of working at a Soviet Union border checkpoint during the Cold War. This game revolves around the choices that you make as the booth inspector, and deciding who to let into Arstotzka and who to deny. After making a choice about who can or can't enter, the NPCs will sometimes say things to the player. Sometimes it will be friendly, sometimes it will be hostile, but most of the time, they are completely silent. Should the player make a wrong decision, they will get a slip from the Arstotzkan government describing their mistake, along with a pay doc slip. There are no different sections of the game, it just revolves around the inspection booth and the choices the player makes during that time. The piece progresses over a 30-day time frame. The game itself has 20 possible endings based on the choices that the player makes. There is no guarantee that the player will make it through all 30 days, as various random events may happen to impede their progress. The structure of the game stays consistent throughout and informs the player of any new additions via the instruction manual on the player's desk when they start a day. Since the sections of the game stay consistent, the overall idea of supporting your family holds the game together. The more money you make, the happier your family will be. In the gaps in between work, the player must choose how to spend their money. The player is given a few different choices on where they want to spend their money, including rent, food, heat, a booth upgrade, a residential upgrade, or medicine should one of their family members get sick. Papers, Please's main art style is very pixelated, with grays and blacks making up the main color scheme. Brighter colors do appear and can be found on the passports of the various countries as well as on the clothes of the citizens. There are no real motifs to be found in the game unless you count the look of the back wall of the inspection booth as one. The overall design might not be 100% accurate to what border checkpoints during the Cold War looked like, but it's definitely a look at what it was like to work in one. The overall imagery is very realistic and even a bit gloomy at times. You're constantly in fear of not having enough money to support your family, which could potentially lead you to lose your job. Papers, Please uses sound, video, animation, photography, digital design, and text all throughout the game. Sound plays a large role in the game. Along with the soundtrack, small sound effects are used to represent dialogue between characters and the booth inspector, as well as the sound the stamps make when pressing a passport. Video is used to portray the setting of the game, the gameplay itself, the overall art style, portraying characters, and in short cutscenes. With no video, this game would function very well as a basic text adventure. Animation is used to portray characters walking in and out of the booth, in front of and walking away from the inspection window, showing the line of people on the top of the screen moving, people getting escorted out of the inspection booth, and people hopping the border wall, just to name a few. Photography takes up a minor role in the game. Later on, the player will have access to a scanner that allows the player to scan and search citizens for contraband items should the weight on their passport and their current weight not match up. Text is used to portray dialogue, conversation between characters, news headlines, and at the end of day screen. Digital design is used to portray the art style of the game. Overall, the game's darker colors give off a very bland vibe, but this art style works for when this game is supposed to take place. The constant use of the Arstotzkan symbol gives off a very Soviet Union-style feel, with your country's national symbol constantly in your view, reminding you who you work for. All of these elements blend together to create a perfect balance of a fun and enjoyable gaming experience. From the ambience of the music to the various looks of the people, the creators of the game do an excellent job of combining all these to make the player truly feel like they are sitting inside the inspection booth and experiencing what it was like to have that job so many years ago. player plays the game primarily using the mouse, but they will also be able to use the spacebar to access certain features of their booth quicker once they spend the money to upgrade it. The mouse interaction definitely represents what it's like to actually open up a passport, look at its credentials, and stamp the passport with either an entry allowed or entry denied stamp. The game is very easy to navigate, as it only takes a few clicks to get the information you need to progress through the game. This easy navigation is justified, as the player needs to process as many people through the checkpoint in order to earn as much money as possible. When playing the game, it is easy to get emotionally invested and attached with some of the characters. Some characters ask you to let their loved ones or other friends in, even though they might not have the right credentials. It is up to you to make an executive decision on whether or not to let them in and get a pay dog, but acquire an achievement in the process, or deny them and maintain good job standing. When I played this game to get the footage for this video, I was playing it with my friends and roommates. They had never experienced this game before, so it was a fun time explaining all the different parts of the game to them. When ethical dilemmas arose, we would pause the game and talk about what we should do. When we switched from day to day, we would discuss the plot of the game and whether or not we would truly make it the full 30 days without losing our job. 3 of Lev Manovich's 5 principles of new media are used extensively throughout the game. Those 3 are automation, variability, and modularity. Various new media elements such as video, audio, and digital design all come together to make this piece work, as well as convey the main message of the game. The modular structure of Papers, Please relies heavily on digital design and video. Automation in this game represents the choices and things the player must look at in order to accept or deny an immigrant into the country. The sitemap shown here outlines what the player must look at, as well as whether or not these choices sway their decision. No 2 games of Papers, Please are ever the same. Each immigrant is randomized per day, so you never get the same 2 entrants on different save files. Along with the game's 20 different endings, it gives the player incentive to try and achieve all of these endings. Ian Bogost's "The video games embrace complexity rather than shy away from it" analysis definitely represents what is shown in Papers, Please. On the surface, the game seems nothing more than just check to see if this person meets the requirements and you get paid. However, if you play the game and progress deep into the story, you will see that there are so many more elements to it than that, such as the added complexity of your job, as well as a secret order set out to destroy the border checkpoint and the Arstotzkan government.